It's day 3 of the festival, and the first handicap of the third day is the Pertemps Network final. Another massive cavalry charge over hurdles. The race is run over, I think, 3 miles even. Current joint favourites, we've got the Storyteller from Gordon Elliott's yard, and also Relegate. Relegate is last year's champion bumper winner. Was relatively impressive in doing so, but ended up finishing, I think it was either 5th or 6th. It was 5th on its novice hurdle debut. And then, strangely, ended up leaving the Mullins yard and finding his way to a certain Mr. Murphy. It's a tough one, really. The horse hasn't done too much wrong in his one hurdle start so far. Obviously, it knows how to win around Cheltenham. But to me, at 11-2, I think it's probably short enough. I think it's still a very odd one that Willie Mullins got rid of the horse. Clearly, Mullins is a good judge. And the fact that, well, you know, it's changed yards. It just seems a bit of a messy one for me. You know, you never know. It's a bit of an unknown quantity to an extent over hurdles, but I just couldn't have it at a price of around 11-2. The Storyteller's a former course winner. David Russell and Gordon Elliott, obviously a bit of a dream team. Again, I think it's got more of a chance than Relegate does. However, personally, I feel that if you're looking for a horse in this race, 11-2 again is probably a bit too short. I'm actually left with a trio of horses, and all 3 of them I actually really like. I'd probably say 2 more so than the other one, than one of them. The one I actually fancy the least is last year's winner of this race, and is Sire de Burley, obviously course and distance winner. It is now £7 higher than basically when it won here last year. Obviously, the green and gold silks have demanded a ton of respect. They've been absolutely demolishing everything and anything in the first 2 days of the meeting so far. Barry Geraghty is obviously current top jockey, and I think it's been there, it's done it before, and around 7-1, I think that's an okay price. Perhaps I'd like to see it a little bit bigger. If it's anything going towards the 10-1 mark, I think that's going to be a bit of a steal. Saying that, Sire de Burley, just because it's been there and done it, I don't think the £7 rising weight is going to be too much of an obstacle to overcome compared to last year. However, it may put pay to its chances of winning, and the best you might be able to hope for here is a place. That being said, I did mention there are the other 2 horses that I like the look of. I was actually close to napping one of them, but if it wasn't for the fact the other one was in the race, I really like the pair of them. I've got to give a shout out to fellow picksfromthepaddock.co.uk pundit Chris Connolly. Me and him have followed Kilbrick and Storm for a good few seasons now. It's gone off the boil somewhat. However, we now see it sort of contesting handicap company. It's a course and distance winner. It comes from the yard of Colin Tizard. Harry Cobden's on board. I think it's got a fantastic chance at 14-1. I genuinely feel this potentially could be one of my each-way bets of the festival, and that's Kilbrick and Storm. It'll be wearing the red silks with a green star. This horse has contested. It's been up against some of the really top-class staying chasers. You know, I wouldn't have been shocked to see it line up in the Stayers Hurdle in the following race. It really wouldn't have surprised me. He's actually beaten some of the horses, or finished ahead of some of the horses that we'll see contesting that race later on today. So, Kilbrick and Storm, you know, it's not got one of the biggest weights either, which is obviously a massive plus. So 14-1, I think that potentially is one of the each-way bets of the festival for me. And looking down, and also at 14-1, is the horse that goes by the name of, if I can find it, Dreamberry. John Joe O'Neill Jr. rides for his father, John Joe O'Neill. The horse has been handled really lightly. It's been handled with kid gloves. It was off the track for a good while before returning to action and picking up a decent second-placed effort. I think the horse will come on drastically for that run. Obviously, you've got to respect the JP McManus owned silks, no matter whether or not it's first, second, or third string. And I think Dreamberry has perhaps been put away for a race like this. Obviously, they've handled it lightly, they've raced it lightly. It's off a decent mark, And again, at 14 to 1, I think that's a decent each way shout. Of the three, I think Kilbrickinstorm and Dreamberry are probably the two that I fancy more so. However, you can't really ignore last year's winner. I think Relegate is going to be lucky to win. If it does win, I think it's some animal. But that's my thoughts on the Pertemps, which is the first handicap of day 3 of the festival.